DDO Players Gen Con coverage is brought to you by our friends at the Skull Splitter Dice Company. SkullSplitterDice.com for all of your dice needs. Metal dice, regular dice, dice in between. SkullSplitterDice.com has your dice needs covered. If you are a brand new customer, mention DDO Players and you're going to get a free set of dice.
Hey everybody, it's DDO Players. We are at Gen Con 2019. We are still in day one. We have made it to the Keymaster booth.
What's up, everybody?
With Jennifer. How you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you is the question. Have you survived your day one so far? We're almost to the end of day one.
Almost. It's going awesome. Yeah, we're pumped. We got a lot of good energy in here right now.
I know right now the booth is packed and hopping, so that's a good thing to have happen.
Right, these are good problems.
You guys, I know a lot of people are looking at parks.
Yes.
And are looking at your campy creatures, so we'll talk about those in a second.
Yeah.
Let's start off, just tell me about Keymaster Games a little bit.
Absolutely. So Keymaster Games is coming up on being 5 years old, about 5 years old. It's started by Kyle Key and Maddox Schuler, who are illustrators, designers, graphic designers, pretty phenomenal people who are unbelievably creative, who had this vision of trying to make games that were super fun and accessible and also gorgeous to look at. And that's been a model that we've followed through now over these last few years. I'm a newest member of the team, being here for about a year, and I'm so beyond excited to be working for a group of people that are this talented, this compassionate, they care about the industry and the growth of the hobby with people who maybe are just new to gaming, because our motto is unlocking the fun, and we want to do that for everybody.
And I think you guys certainly do that, especially with the game designs. All of your games, they're different, but yet they're the same, if that makes sense. They kind of have that design philosophy, I think.
Right, so. Yeah, we're not, yes, we're totally interested in exploring new things and being creative with how each game is presented to the world, and to make sure that things are interesting and engaging, because we're gamers too, right? So we want it to be just as engaging for us, the work that we do and the play that we do. We want it to be engaging for us and for the people that we're playing with and the people that we're bringing the game to the world for.
All right, well, let's jump right into, I think, the big thing. I see a lot of these boxes flying off your shelves right now, and that is your brand new game that is Parks.
Yes, absolutely. So Parks is a game that is a collaboration. It's designed by Henry Audubon, and it is a collaboration with the 59 Parks print series. They are they're two printmakers, and they've worked to bring artists from all over the world in on a project to celebrate America's national parks, national monuments, and the artwork is just phenomenal. And
it is phenomenal.
Yeah.
That is the best word for it. We actually have a review getting ready to come out for this, and that was the first time I think I was actually stunned at a game and the artwork.
Yeah.
When I opened it up and started playing it, I was like, wow, this artwork is amazing.
Yeah, look, the first time I opened up my final mass production copy, I was just as stunned as we hope that everybody else is, and we think that it is based on reception currently. So the artwork is, even though it's from such a huge, diverse group of people, there's 38 artists in the game who have artwork in the game, and even though that's a huge number, and the artwork is vastly different, all their styles are very unique, the cohesiveness of the 59 Parks print series project and how it's presented in the game is just really come together in a spectacular way, and we're so excited. That mixed with Maddox's graphic design, with Kyle's extra illustrations where we needed them for the hiker meeples, for campfires, just those little touches, and the aesthetic quality of it. Yes, and gameplay. I could talk about the beauty of it all day long, but the gameplay is also fun.
It is, yeah. So go ahead and tell us about the gameplay. It's pretty simple yet complex.
Yes.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great way to describe it. So in Parks, you are playing as two hikers hiking down a trail and stopping at sites along the way and collecting memories. Memories are your resources, which are physically represented by raindrops or mountains or forests or sunshine. And you trade those memories in to collect national park cards, and that represents you visiting those national park cards. So the artwork that we're talking about, that we're all very excited about, is in these national park cards, which are your primary way to gain points in the game. But there's also gear that you're going to need to collect, because everybody else going just for that same thing in a really kind of linear way, which is the simple part of it, quote unquote.
Right.
can get really complicated, and everybody needs a little bit of tension, a little ways to make their hikes a little more efficient. I like to think about going to the end of the trail, getting to the end of the trail is you can go visit a park, or you can go to REI and get better gear. Maybe you go shopping because you need new hiking boots or something like that. I love how the mechanics are really thematic in that way, and I love talking about them that way because they really emulate that. And there's a passiveness when you're playing. It's a very like calming feeling that I get from people over and over again, where they're like, this game is super relaxing but very competitive.
Right, it is.
And I love that the game does that has this sort of peaceful competition that's happening.
And it works well as a solo game too.
Yes.
Which is very different, because a lot of the times competitive games like this, they'll throw in a solo variant, but it doesn't work well. This one actually works really, really well as a solo game.
Thank you very much for saying that. Yeah, Henry did an awesome job designing those Rangers, and he worked with Maddox together, kind of developing that out to create the right thing, because we didn't want to put, so in solo mode you're playing against Rangers, you're hiking down the trail, you're two hikers, and Rangers are kind of coming along with you, they're in the parks with you, they're walking along, and they cause a series of events to happen, and it can be really tough, and we wanted to make sure that there was the right amount of like struggle and competition happening there, but we weren't putting Rangers obviously in any kind of bad light, because our goal is not to be like Rangers are bad guys. We love them. In fact, part of the proceeds from our purchases from sales for parks go to the National Park Service.
And then I know you also have a nice looking game board in it, but you also have an amazing mat that is an optional purchase as well.
Yes. Mats were like it's our first time making a game mat, and we did a pre-order system where we had to kind of hit like as a mini stretch goal in our backer kit with backers, and backers said overwhelmingly that they liked it a lot, and people are really liking it here too. So it might be a welcome addition for several people in there.
Yeah, so let's jump into another good, amazing looking game, and that is Campy Creatures.
Absolutely. So Campy Creatures is a game where you are playing as a scientist, aka mad scientist, depending on whose perspective you're looking at it from, and you're trying to perform experiments, and to do that you're going to need to collect mortals, and you collect those mortals by going out and sending your creatures out into the night and snatching them up. So it's a simultaneous action selection game, where you're going to put down, everybody has the same hand of cards. The cards are all the same numbered monsters, and your hand dwindles over time as you're making these choices, and you have to be very strategic about the choices that you make, because over time those limited options are going to really impact you when you need to grab the right mortals, who are your points from round to round. And the game plays over 3 nights, so rounds are nights, and you collect mortals in the night, you score up points based on set collection and different types of things going on inside of the mortal cards, and then you score points because of a location, and then you start over, you refresh, you get a new location, it's a new night, and you start over, and now you've got a feel for how your opponents are playing a little bit, and the tension really builds from round to round.
And this one too had a lot of strategy in it too, because I know when I was playing it for the review we also have coming up, it was like, do I really want to spend one of my higher cards to grab this mortal? Yep. Or can I wait? Or if one would come up that would be negative points, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go low on here because I don't want to end up with him. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I love all that decision making. Every time I sit down to play it with new people, there's new choices, new people to learn, and just like any kind of social deduction tension, it's great to have to learn people and really engage with them. I appreciate those aspects of games as much as I love like heavier games where I'm just working to do the best that I can. I always love that interaction and the chance to engage with other people.
And then
too.
I like the art style on this one. It's got kind of that B-movie, 50s campy style,
absolutely.
which,
the camp is real. It's not just in the name.
It is not. You definitely stuck with the camp theme there.
Yeah.
Great job on that.
The art is from Josh Emmerich, who's a phenomenal artist, and we're so lucky to be working with him. He's done an amazing job on both Campy Creatures and another title of ours, Caper, which he is just like blown out of the park in terms of the aesthetics. So we're really fortunate to be working with him.
And then is Campy Creatures and Parks both available now?
They're both available now here at Gen Con. They are going into full retail release in the middle of September, along with Control. We released a second edition of our first game, Control, which is a little card game to like a very kind of take daddy card game that plays quickly over multiple rounds. It's a great on-the-go kind of game. So we re-released that in new packaging, like really shrunk it down and made it like compact. It's a perfect pick up and go kind of game.
And I know before we started recording, we were talking about Campy Creatures a little bit. You said you have some new stuff on the horizon for Campy Creatures?
That's right. So we have a brand new edition of Campy Creatures now, and an expansion, Expansion 1. It's our first expansion in Campy Creatures. But beyond that, that's going out in September. And then after that, we have our next Kickstarter is in October, and it is Revenge of the Mortals. It's a game designed by T.C. Petty. It will also have amazing artwork by Josh Emmerich that I can't wait to share. And that is actually flipping the game on its head. So in all of this, Josh actually kind of coined the term Campyverse to kind of describe the universe that all of these monsters might live in. And very similar, you got that Universal Monsters thing vibe going on, B-movie monsters, right? All that's they all live and eventually overlap, right? So now we're reversing it, and players will play as mortals who are attacking the creatures. They're deciding to fight back. So we've got it's a party style game, and it's kind of a co-optional game. So you'll be playing semi-cooperatively because you'll have to work together with people to beat the monsters, because you could actually get hurt if you don't actually work together to beat the monsters. But it's not everybody wins. It's not an everybody wins kind of game.
And when's that coming to Kickstarter?
Kickstarter in October.
All right. Well, excellent. Well, thanks for your time today, and enjoy the rest of your Gen Con.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for stopping by.